Here we have Artificial Solutions and CEO Lawrence. Lawrence, you call yourself a conversational AI company. What does that mean?
So that's actually a very good question. It's an industry label, the conversational AI, and most people actually don't understand when we use it. Most people's frame of reference that they might have come across is something like Siri or Amazon's Alexa or Google Home. And of course they are conversational applications, but they are consumer-oriented applications. And the difference with us is that we're a business that sells to large enterprises, and so we are an enterprise-focused conversational AI platform. And our customers use our technology in turn to communicate with their customers, so it makes it a B2B2C channel. So when we talk about conversational AI, we're talking about conversational AI in the enterprise sector.
And what are the keys for making this platform successful? Is it loads of user data or?
So conversation, obviously, it's about natural language. And we're privileged to have been doing this for quite some time. And indeed, we have acquired a huge amount, a massive corpus of data about natural language. However, that's not what's really the answer to your question. You need many components of the jigsaw to make the whole picture. Of course, a deep and profound understanding of natural language, which we have through our patented hybrid language models, is important, and that is predominantly based on data. But if you think about real-life use cases for conversational AI, it's not just a question of understanding. It's a question of actually having a dialogue between the human and the computer to get something done, whether that's to order a hotel room or whether that is to process an insurance claim. It doesn't matter, you know, it's not a single stage. So there's a lot of dialogue capabilities that are needed. And then there are a lot of things that are needed in the enterprise sector alone. So for instance, CIOs in large companies, they care about data security, they care about performance and scalability and so on and so forth. So there are many pieces of the jigsaw that go together that are necessary to make a compelling conversational AI platform for the enterprise.
And could you tell us a little bit more about your customers? Who are they, and more especially how they use the technology?
Sure. So I'll bring that to life with a few examples, if I may. Having said that, you should understand that the core of our company is a software company. And we develop a conversational AI platform called Teneo. And it is that exact self-same platform that's used by every customer, even though every customer builds something that's unique to their purpose on top of that. And when I say that the customer builds it, predominantly it is our network of partners like Deloitte and Accenture and so on who actually build the applications for our customers on the same platform. So to give you an idea, we have just yesterday, for instance, here in Sweden, released a press release about Folksam. Yeah? And they're using the application to automate insurance claims processing. So instead of having to phone up or fill in a form, you can be guided through an experience with a virtual assistant on a website that will automate the process for you. And of course for them, that removes people from the equation. It makes the processing more efficient because you can ask clarification questions halfway through the form and so on. So that's one example in the insurance. A completely different example. We have a customer in the oil and gas segment, which is Shell. You've probably heard of them. They sell in 160 different countries around the world. And they had a problem where people would come into one of their distributors in one of these countries and not know what was the right product to buy. They might have bought a competitor's product 10 years ago. They might just have bought a new piece of plant and machinery and they didn't know what to put in it. And in order to support that network, they had to have a call center of expert people who could answer the questions, you know, what to recommend from a Shell product catalog. And we automated that process with them, initially to support their distribution channel through an extranet, so that you could come in and start from any point and ultimately end up with the right product, leaving with the right product. So for Shell, that enhanced sales. And at the same time, they didn't need to have a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week call center manned by highly skilled people, so they get a cost benefit as well. And then maybe if I just talk about a third example, This is AT&T, very well-known company, 110 million customers. And we work in many different parts of the AT&T empire, but the use case I'll describe to you is in their broadband business. They have 11.5 million homes on their broadband network. And of course, we've all experienced this. Sometimes there are challenges, your printer's not talking to your network or so on. And so we built a technical support assistant for them based on the Teneo platform. So when you're a customer and you have some sort of problem, you go onto the website, you give your user credentials so we know it's you, and then you get 3 choices. Would you like to talk to somebody in the call center? Well, who wants to talk to somebody in the call? We all hate call centers. Do you want to have a live chat session? And by the way, they'll be talking to 4 other people at the same time. Or would you like the fully automated service? And the pleasing thing for us is that 62% of people choose the fully automated service. And they're right to, because the assistant fixes the problem in 8 out of 10 cases during that session. So if you think about that from AT&T's point of view, it makes sense because 62% times 80% is roughly 50% of all their support challenges are managed by one robot that's never rude to your customers, never sleeps, never takes a day off. And it's much cheaper, obviously, to have that one solution deliver all of those answers than it is having an army of people sat in a call center. So it's a win-win as well. And their customers love it.
I see. I think I'm getting a hang of it now. If you will look at the financials a little bit, in the second quarter, your order intake grew from 7.6 to 22. And you have gross margins around 60%.
Yep.
When do you see that you could be profitable?
Yeah, so we're a relatively new entrant to the market, as you're aware. We joined the market through a reverse takeover in March of this year. And we gave certain guidance to the market, which is still true today based on our Q1 earnings announcement and our Q2 earnings announcement. And that is that we predict that we will outgrow the market. The current industry estimates for the growth of the market are around 40%. And as you can see, our order intake was actually up 200%. So we're comfortably ahead of that target. The second guidance is that we said that we would trend towards a 70% gross margin in 2020. So here we are today, and we've achieved 60%. And that same number a year ago was 46. So we're clearly on a trajectory to meet that target. And then the final piece of guidance that we gave was that the company would turn cash flow positive during 2020. And we have not changed that guidance at all as a result of it. We've lots of positive metrics. The order intake is up, the backlog is up, our usage fees more than doubled quarter-to-quarter comparison. So we're very much on track to meet the expectations that we set with the market.
Thank you very much for stopping by and answering some questions.
Thank you.